Jam! Hello everyone and welcome to the Mana Pool. This is episode... This is 669? I think this is 669.
Something like that, yeah.
Nice. I am Chewie, the lead dork. I am in the car on the way to the Throne of Eldraine Prerelease at House of Cards in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I have Mike here with me.
Hello.
And we're just in the car, just driving.
Yep. Was driving, started chatting a bit, so Chewie figured we should record a little something on the way there.
Yeah, I was also gonna talk about last weekend since we haven't done a show since then.
Yeah.
So last weekend I went to Scott's wedding, which was down in the Isle of Palms in South Carolina. It was a destination wedding. It was very fancy.
Mm-hmm.
And we went to the... No, let me start over. I got everything done, right?
Right.
I got everything done so that morning, all I had to do was get up and go.
Mm-hmm.
Like, pack and go. That's all I had to do. I was so proud of me. I got all my videos done for the lead up. So, I'd have videos going up while I was gone. I got everything handled. I was like, this is going to be great. I wake up the next morning. I was like, sweet. I don't have to do anything. I just have to pack and go. And my stomach went, oh, yeah?
Oh.
And so I left about an hour after I wanted to because, of course, I got everything handled. I have no problems, so I have to manufacture a problem.
Right.
Which means I got there to the resort right about the time that the rehearsal was supposed to start. So instead of going to the house where I was staying, it was an Airbnb with Mom, Scott's mom, who's for the rest of this episode, Mom. Because she was one of my moms growing up, Instead of going there first, dropping off my stuff, and going to the resort, I just went straight to the resort because it's starting, now. So I get there, I pull up in front of the house that's right next to the beach where Scott is staying, and everybody's outside, and I go, yay, where the hell do I park? And Scott goes, go up here to the left. The hotel's on the right, park on the left. I said, okay. So I go up here to where the hotel's on my right, and I ask a dude who's standing there, I was like, hey dude, I was told there's like an overflow parking right over here somewhere. He goes, oh yeah, it's right down there, and he points down the little road. And I said, right. So Mom's in the car now with me because they didn't want Mom walking. I said, thanks. And if I turn, then the hotel's on the right, the parking's on the left, so I thought that's what Scott meant. I was like, sweet. So Mom and I go park in the brick lot, walk back to the hotel. Scott's like, where the hell'd you go? I said, the dude said to park right there. He said, I meant right here. And he points at this like grassy area. And I went, oh, okay, my bad. So then we're still waiting around because Scott's brother hasn't shown up. While he lives in Charleston, so he's a short drive away. While I'm standing there talking to Scott outside before we go back in, I hear, Jason! I don't think anything of it. And then I hear it again, Jason! And I'm like, wait, that's my name. I turn and look, and there's Jim. And Scott goes, yeah, go park right down there. And Jim said, okay. And we go inside where there's air conditioning. After a couple minutes, I realized Jim didn't know where to park either. I was like, hey, I'm gonna go find Jim. I'll be right back. I run down there, and Jim is just sort of sitting there doing this. He's like, this is a parking deck, but I can't get in. I'm like, that's the valet parking. He goes, well, where the hell am I supposed to park? I said, Scott told me to park right there. And I pointed at this little grass area, and Jim goes, in this dude's yard? Yes. And there's a pause, and he goes, all right, I guess I'm parking in some dude's yard. So we go back in, we're all here. The little wedding planner lady walks us out to where the wedding's going to be. We do the rehearsal, all the practice and timing and whatnot, and how we're walking and all that.
Right.
We do it twice. It's on the beach, so now we're, struggling to walk through the soft sand. And Jim is like, man, those shoes we have no grip. This is not going to be cool. I was like, that's going to be hilarious because you're going to fall, bust your ass, and I'm going to laugh. Jim is Scott's little brother, so as little brothers go, you're supposed to torment them, right?
Yeah.
So then, now mind you, I got here off the road. I stopped once on the road for gas and a snack and to pee.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, my bladder is about to give up. So we're all walking back towards the house, and I go, hey, Scott. And he goes, yeah. I said, I really need... And Jacqueline goes, that's his wife now. Mm-hmm. She goes, where's Kelly? Kelly needs to move her car. Kelly's Scott's sister. And I was, she's right. I don't know. I think they stopped back there. She's like, Scott, call her and get her to move the car because we got to get that car out. And Scott goes, okay. So now Scott's on the phone. So I go, okay, hey, Jacqueline. She goes, yes. I'm like, I just got here off the road. I really need to pee. Can I run in and pee real quick? She's like, we're not going in. We're not going in. And I'm like, you're not going in? What is it, like an effort? She's like, I just need people to not talk to me right now. Don't ask me questions. I'm like, all right. And then my brain goes, bride, right. It's her job to be freaked out. Got it. And Scott's like, she's not answering. I went, you know what? I'll just run back over there and apparently I'm the run around and find the siblings person is my job. So I run back and yell, Kelly, come move your car. Kelly's boyfriend brings the keys up and he moves the car. Everything's good. Scott goes, get in. I go, what? And Scott's in a car now. I'm like, what? He's like, get in. You're going with me. I said, okay.
Look back. Now I'm in a car.
Exactly. So I hop in the car and we go over, and she's freaking out because we're supposed to be at the place where the rehearsal dinner is. Not rehearsal dinner. Yeah. It really just means we're all going to dinner at this one place, right?
Yeah.
There was nothing fancy about this place. And we're supposed to be there in like 2 minutes. And she's afraid that we're all going to lose our reservations or something. So that's why she's freaking out, it turns out.
Yeah.
Oh, there's about to be a hell of a wreck in front of us. Cool. Oh, damn. So I'm telling you all of this to explain why I got burned, okay?
Okay.
So, we do the rehearsal dinner. It was at the Acme Low Country Kitchen, where I had fried pecan chicken with some mustard barbecue sauce glazed on it.
Mm-hmm.
I had some Yukon Gold mashed potatoes and some truffle cheese grits.
Huh.
And let me just tell you, son, the truffle cheese grits were amazing. I mean, the chicken was also amazing, but the grits, damn. There are words about this that I can't say on this podcast, all right? It knocked my in my Anyway, so okay, well, I finally go pee, by the way, at the restaurant. Like, she started taking drink orders, so I didn't leave.
Yeah.
And then I thought she was going to take the food orders immediately, and she did, but she started... I was the first drink order, I was the last food order. I was not happy about that, because I really had to pee. I finally get up and go pee, everything's good. I come back and sit down. Oh, before I got up to go pee, Jacqueline, I was sitting two over from Jacqueline, she leans over and goes, did you ever go to the bathroom? I went, no, somebody wouldn't let me. She's like, well, they have a bathroom here. I'm like, well, yeah, but now I don't want to miss the food order. She's like, oh, you should probably go pee. I'm like, shut up. So, okay. On the way back from the rehearsal center, Scott and I stopped by a grocery store and he buys sunblock. Because Scott is also pale as hell. Mm-hmm. He buys some SPF 50. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, hell yeah. I can't see. Okay. And I was like, so can I bum some of that tomorrow? He said, yeah, I think we're all going to hang out on the beach tomorrow. So yeah, no problem. I said, cool. I come back to the house. Mom didn't go to the rehearsal dinner. She wasn't feeling well. So we go back to the house, and Mom goes, I think I want to go to the beach tomorrow. I said, all right. Mm-hmm. I think we're all going to hang out at the beach tomorrow. It's what Scott seems to think. So you can just ride with me if you want. She's like, well, I got to come back here and get, dressed for the wedding. I said, well, yeah, so do I. So
yeah, no
problem, Mom. I'll take care of you. Because everyone else that was supposed to stay in the house with Mom bailed. So Mom would have been in the house alone. So I felt like I was on mom duty.
All right. Run around and round with relatives.
It pretty much was my job, yeah. So the next day, get up, sit around for a while, do some stuff. She's like, I want to go to the beach. I said, okay. So since got a message, yo, dude, what's the plan? He goes, I have no idea. He said, all the bridesmaids started getting ready already.
Oh.
Wedding was at 6. Call for hair and makeup started at 11.
How many people were there that needed to get made up?
5.
Well,
the bride and 4 bridesmaids.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, well, let me know when you find something out. He said, okay. And Mom, in the meanwhile, was like, yep, I'm gonna go to the beach. I was like, all right, let's go. So we find beach towels and stuff, and I'm like, hey, they have chairs? She goes, meh. I said, hey, they have an umbrella in this Airbnb house we were staying at? She's like, meh. I said, okay, fine, let's go. And on the way, I'm like, yo, dude, I'm bringing Mom to the beach. He said, cool. I still don't know what anyone's doing. I said, fair enough. So we get there, make our way over to use the valet parking because we're special. Make our way down to the beach, just hanging out. I bring Good Omens. I'm sitting there on the beach towel reading Good Omens again, again. And I realize I should probably get some sunblock. So Sin's got a text. Yo, dude, can I come get that sunblock? No response. Now, the phone signal on the beach acted like there was a dude walking around with the cell tower, just walking up and down the beach. Because I went from no signal to full signal, and it just was off and on. It was weird. So he goes, he finally responds, and he goes, "Oh, I'm not there. I'm running errands." I was like, "Oh, okay." But I didn't want to just go knock on the door and be like, "Hey, can I get the sunblock?" Because Jacqueline freaked out yesterday, and now they're all in there getting ready and stuff, and I didn't want to have my head literal bitten off because Bride.
Right.
Not Bridezilla. She was very, very chill most of the day, but, you know, just in case there's one too many things like yesterday. And so I was like, I was like, "Well, when you get back, could you bring me a sunblock? Or let me know when you're back, I'll come get it." And then that message didn't go through forever, and Scott didn't actually see it forever. And then he apparently sent me back messages that were like, "Yeah, dude, come get it." And I didn't get those forever. Finally, I was walking up and down the beach like a normal human at the beach. It was very nice, actually. And my phone rings. I'm like, "Oh, it's Scott." "Yo, dude." He's like, "Hey, did you want the sunblock?" I said, "Yes, please." He said, "Okay. Where you at?" I was like, "If you come straight out of the back of the house, we're out there on the beach. Mom's on a towel right in front of the line of chairs with umbrellas." He said, "Okay." So I turn around, and I realize I've walked a long way. So I turn around, and I'm heading back. I get all the way back to Mom. Scott still hasn't appeared. So we're both turning around looking at the house, because it's a row of, like, you know, houses. And I go, "I think that's him in the white shirt." She goes, "Yep." And then he comes out, and he's wearing red shorts. And she goes, "That's not him." I said, "What?" She's like, "It's Scott. Scott would never wear red shorts." And I went, "I'm pretty sure that's Scott." And then Scott walks up in red shorts, and she goes, "Who are you?" And he gives me the sunblock, and I cover myself. It's spray, you know, so I cover myself in all the sunblock known to man. And he's like, "So it turns out we're all just hanging out up here at the pool." I'm like, "Why are you hanging out at the pool when there's a beach right here?" This is coming from me, who hates the beach. Oh, that was your stuff.
Yeah.
That scared the crap out of me. And he's like, "I don't know, this is what everyone wanted to do." I said, "Okay." He's like, "You guys want to come up?" Mom goes, "We'll come up later." He said, "Okay," and he turns around to go back. And before he gets halfway back to the house, Mom goes, "You want to go?" I was like, "Yeah, I told you, I'm here for you, whatever."
I guess it's technically later.
Technically. So we walk back up there, you know, say hi to everybody, whatnot, and then we get in the car and go home. Back to the house. Where she starts getting ready, and I start getting ready, and I realize I am burnt all to hell.
Wow.
And it just looked red. It really red, but red, you know. I had Rock Lobster sung at me several times the rest of the weekend. Because I looked like a rock. Rock Lobster! So, yeah, I take a shower. It wasn't so bad. I was like, "Oh, thank goodness." The shower sucked, but, you know, it didn't hurt. Like the actual shower head, this Airbnb sucked. It was awful. And I put on the suit, and I looked damn good. If you're in the Maniple Discord server, you probably saw pictures.
Yeah.
But I did. It looked damn good. Bright red, but still good, you know. And the wedding was beautiful. I only cried twice during the ceremony. And once when Mom and Scott did the Mom and Son dance, because it was to a nice, slow, soft version of Forever Young by Rod Stewart. And Mom loves Rod Stewart. So I was like, "Oh, that's so sweet." And yeah, it was bad. So yeah. Then I didn't sleep that night. Hardly at all. Could not get comfy. burns were starting to be a problem. Woke up the next morning, more stomach issues, was toe up. Spent a good hour in the bathroom from the first 2 hours I was up. I was supposed to go to brunch with everybody, and I was like, I gotta go home. I feel terrible. Which pissed me off because they said brunch was gonna be really good and I get to see everybody again and it was gonna be cool. Nope, couldn't handle it. And yeah, I came home, all is well. But then the burns got bad. And my entire face already peeled, thank God, because I'm going to the pre-release right now. And then yesterday, my friend Amanda was like, hey, can you help me move furniture? And I was like, around the apartment? She goes, no, like from place to place. You gotta go here and get this, and I bought a couch there, and I'm gonna move it here, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, and in my brain, I'm like, no? I'm like, she's been really sweet and helping me out lately. Okay, fine, yeah. Okay, hang on, I'm on north, yeah. And she goes, okay, sweet, I'll be by to pick you up in a minute. She sends me a message saying, I'm here. It's like 12:15. At right about 4:15, I walk back into my apartment. It was a large mess. This includes a meal at Don Juan as payment afterwards. So, but still, it took like over 3 hours to get all of this done. Partially because something went.
Something fell over.
It's out of the back of the little pickup truck.
Oh no!
It was going to like Goodwill. And then we back to the truck up, and we put it. This is not my fault. We put the thing in it, and then there was a tree there. Then there was a branch sticking out that none of us noticed, including the people that live there and should have noticed it. So when she went to pull forward, it says blah 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 blam, and I was like, Jesus Christ! And I turn and look, and I'm like, how did that fall out? There's no way, even if she gassed on it real hard, that would have happened. And it turns out, yeah, it caught on the branch. And then Amanda's friend Teresa wanted to fix it. So I'm standing there in the heat and the sun. And I pulled out my pants leg to show her the burn, because, she's like, you look kind of bad. I'm like, oh, wait till you see this. You saw the spot on my leg. It looks awful.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that I have one spot on each leg that is an actual 2nd-degree sunburn. Possibly slightly more. But so that's fun. Yeah, she decided to fix it. It turns out she didn't actually fix it, but she did make it look slightly better, I guess. But yeah, when I pulled up my pants leg to show her how bad the burn was, I saw this giant blister covering part of the bad spot, and I went, oh no. Why did it wait a week to blister? That doesn't make any sense. And so we got done with everything. We went to Don Juan, had Mexican food, and I realized my arms were covered in blisters. My legs were covered in blisters. Everywhere where there was burn, there was blisters. And I'm like, what the hell happened? Why did it wait a week? So I call my Aunt Beth, who's a nurse. And she goes, well, were you out in the heat? I said, yeah. She goes, well. I went, oh, duh.
Oh, so that'll encourage blisters going back out in the sun again?
Yeah. So she said it so matter-of-factly. I was like, oh. But over the course of the night last night, they all mostly went away, except for a few little ones on my legs. The big scary ones all apparently drained away. So all is well. I'm in one piece. Showers are still painful, though. When the water directly hits the legs, it makes me want to cry or scream obscenities and dance in the shower. One of these days I'm going to dance and lose my footing and fall and crack my skull open because of sunburn. But, whatever. Story of my life, right?
Right.
And look, hey, we just made it to House of Cards. So, yay.
Yeah.
That was Chase. Bye, Chase.
Maybe she's just finding a parking spot up front.
And in a parking spot. Yay. So I guess we'll go in and talk to Brian and Sam.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah.
All right, so it's the end of round one. This is you can go ahead. We're not stopping you. This is the End of round 1. Chewie's still in the middle of the game.
Oh, he is. Okay.
This is a slow format, and the game that Chewie is in might not actually end. But things went well for me. I finished pretty quickly. I ended up building a white-black deck with a bunch of knights and a fair number of creatures that have adventures, and a lucky clover, which I got to exploit in game 1 by using the fairy guide mother to give 2 people +2/+1 in flying to just hit for 9 in the air out of nowhere.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it was pretty effective. So, but the knight with the adventure that can destroy creatures is awesome. I think I forgot to lose life when I played him that one time, but it didn't matter. Oh well.
It didn't matter?
Because that was the turn I was winning. And Yo Sworn Knight, you got an Sworn Knight too. Yeah, that's good stuff. The one who comes in with +4/+1/+1 counter?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The one that everybody made the Monty Python joke about that I haven't seen, so
Right,
that one?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my promo was actually the Sworn Knight. What was your promo?
My promo was the green-white tree person who gets...
I got one of those too.
Yeah, who gets ++ for the number of colors you have and can make a mana for colors you have. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's pretty neat, but I ended up... The rest of my green was horrendous, so I didn't even consider trying to play him. But yeah, my opponent had a lot of 1-for-1 removal, so it took a while to get going the first game, but eventually I was able to get enough creatures to do stuff. So that was cool. How about you, Brian? You said you ended up going mono black?
Ended up going mono black, which was interesting because my promo's the Oathsworn Giant, or Oathsworn Knight. And then I opened my first pack, and the mythic staring at me is the Rome Cloaked Giant. And I'm like, Wraths win games, especially in limited. But the problem is I looked at more and more and more of my stuff, and it was tough. It really was tough, but I have so much stuff in black that cares about it. Specifically, between the Oathsworn Knight, and then I got a Clackbridge Troll.
Ooh.
I got a Wishclaw Talisman, which I question, but it's in the deck for now.
Yeah, I ended up not playing mine because I didn't have any big WoW cards, so there's no point if you don't have a big WoW card.
And I've got Iara, First of Lochthwain, which is probably my biggest reason for being mono black. And she is insane, by the way. Several adamant cards and a Sir Conrad. So, yeah.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, I see you got that, the
Heraldic Banner, yeah, set to black every time. 2 Wicked Guardians.
Okay.
So...
How many of your creatures are able to survive the hit? A lot or just a few?
A decent amount. I was the Black Troll, duh. A Prophet of the Peak. I had a kind of funny flavor where in game 2 I played Iara and then followed her up with the Wicked Guardian. And I'm like, okay, she goes over and smacks her Legion Lord, in the butt, and her Legion Lord is like,
Go team.
Go team. Turn 1 Eye Collector in the second game was pretty interesting, and when I got out the Sir Conrad, and we both milled a creature, that was when he packed it up. Mm-hmm. So it was close. He was in black green, and he got out his Sir Conrad in the first game, and I followed up with my troll. And so he's sacking goats, and when he sacks a goat, I lose a life because of Sir Conrad, but then I gain 3 life and draw cards. So the troll has haste and trample.
Yeah.
That troll is insane.
It's very frightening.
It's insane. So I don't have a ton of removal, and actually originally my white splash was going to be the giant and the glass casket. But honestly, again, the more I looked at it, the more I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go all the way. I'm gonna go mono black, and so far it's working. So I went 2-0 in the first round, and we'll see how it goes from here. Also, I would note that I got out an early. There's an artifact creature in here that it's an X3, where X is the number of artifacts and enchantments you control, and Shambling Suit. Power is equal to the number of artifacts and enchantments you control, and then it had a giant. My Oathsworn Knight had a giant skewer on, so I'm getting food tokens, which are artifacts.
Yes, that's a good point.
Yeah, so never sacked a food for life. Didn't matter. My opponent was a super nice guy. Ended up scooping as soon as I got an overwhelming board presence in both games. I was able to play, because I'm mono, I'm using as many decent cards as I can. So I did include one or two that were kind of like toward the end, but like Memory Theft, which is an interesting spell.
Yeah, I put one in my deck too. It seems pretty useful.
And not only did he had played a knight, the one drop with Death Touch that you can also, for his adventures, pay 2 and a black to draw a card and lose a life.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that he passed to me with 2 mana open, one of which was black, and I'm like, And so I cast the Memory Theft, and in response, he used a naturalized effect to destroy my Giant Skewer. But as a result, not only did I get to pick the Prophet of the Peak out of his hand, but then take his knight and put it directly into his graveyard. So that was some value right there.
Yeah, that's good.
So again, I'm not saying my deck is bad, but because I'm mono, I can't splash for other things. I mean, that's kind of the point. But originally, the giant is. I'm wondering if I'm going to be the guy that had the giant and didn't play it, the Realm Cloak Giant. But so far, one round in.
You can't splash for white. It's just not practical.
Yeah, we're watching Sam, and she's doing well. I did question in the first game that it was a very big. Both her deck and her opponent's deck seemed to be very much value based, and I did question at one point when she was behind. She drew the knight with that can destroy
with
a creature,
and
she chose to simply play him when he had met with both. And I think it was more just she's on the spot. She saw, hey, it costs me life. We'll talk about it later. I would note for the record, his next draw was the black spell, take any number of creatures from your graveyard and put them on top of your library and then draw a card. So, yeah. He was able to get something else back. The knight with flash that when it comes in, a knight gets lifelink and death touch. So he would have had to be a little more selective, but in the end, he would have gotten his guy back anyway.
Yeah.
So I think she's doing well. I think we haven't talked about Sam's deck. We didn't help her build it. We were kind of ancillary.
We helped her finish it.
We helped her finish it. Her deck is black, green, good stuff.
Yeah, very good.
Like the knight with lifelink that has the removal option. She's got the green-black hybrid knight with haste that can jump back to your hand or to the battlefield. One of the two. And she's got a decent amount of removal. I'm looking over there. She's got the guy that when he attacks or blocks, you get a food token. She's doing well. It seems that her opponent is just, he's doing a good job too. And he's being very patient with her, which I really appreciate.
Yeah, that's
so. And Chewie looks like he's done.
Chewie looks like he's done.
So let's check in with Chewie with the weather.
Should we stop this or let you take a minute?
Oko sucks. That is how that game went. Oko is insane.
Oko is crazy.
Played early, and Oko is really good played late.
Oko is just crazy.
Especially in limited, it's just game ending.
Yeah.
What are you supposed to do to that?
And
you're not.
Like, my only hope was to kill his 4/5 lifelinker, and he countered the removal spell. And it would have turned into a grindy nonsense, so I just went, after I drew my second land off the top, I went, yeah, you got it.
Was it 2 games or 3?
It was 2.
Okay. Did he have Oko in both games?
Yeah. He had him on turn 3 the first game, so I just lost. And then he had it on turn a million.
Oko is crazy.
Yeah,
I believe I said in previews, yeah, Garrett's great when you get to 6 mana. Oko is insane early, mid, and late game.
Yeah.
So,
Will also,
what are you playing?
it doesn't matter because I'm changing it.
Okay.
I was playing Black White Knights. It's not good.
So you're switching it up.
I'm switching it out. I'm switching out all the white for green. I'm going to go a green food thing like I wanted to first time, but didn't think it was good enough.
Chewie also had a Realm Cloaked Giant.
Which did wipe the board, and then I played the Giant, and he wished for a removal spell, and so it died, and I went,
okay.
Well, that was pointless. Yeah, look at his life total in the second game. It drops all the way down one column, and then start halfway down the second one.
So how did that knight get in the graveyard?
What knight?
Did he wished for the spell to put creatures back on top of his library? Was that what he put back on top of his library? Or did he put something else back on top of his library?
You said he wished for a removal spell. What removal spell did he get?
I thought he wished for Forever Young.
You know what? He did that in the second game. In the first game, he put the Murderous Rider in his graveyard.
It doesn't go to the
And
graveyard.
I caught it, and I went, it doesn't go there. He goes, oh, yeah. And then I think we both missed it the second game. I think you're right.
Sam also was going to put it, and I told her, no, you need to put it on the bottom of your library. So did he actually?
Yeah, I think he wished what's it called?
Forever Young.
Forever Young, and put it back on top.
But neither of you caught it? Neither of you caught that?
Not the second game, no. The first game we did. Hey, Will, you're a dirty cheater.
But he almost certainly would have wished for a different removal spell, I'm sure.
Probably.
So you wished for the
Forever Young?
Forever Young to get your rider back? The rider doesn't ever go to the graveyard. It should have been on
It
the
goes
bottom
to the bottom of the graveyard, bottom of the library.
And neither of us caught that.
I thought it was like discarded something.
No. When it dies, it goes to the bottom of your
Because
library.
you used it, this thing, and I wiped it just with my giant.
I mean, it's a mystery on both.
Yeah, I caught it in the first game because you put it in the graveyard. I'm like, no, it doesn't go there. And you went,
It's such a weird fucking mechanic.
It is really weird, but yeah,
It's random.
Keep that
it's-
in mind.
That's not something that's like on anything else in the set.
in mind.
So
No, absolutely nothing. There's
it's
nothing
not a
even
theme or anything. I think it's just there to basically get more value out of
It's
it.
there as a power check.
Yeah.
So you can't get it back.
factor.
So you can't do what he did.
This episode brought to you by Salty Chewy. Now with extra salt. Look for it in your store.
I'm salty because Oko is busted.
Yeah.
I'm not salty because of that play.
I didn't say why you're salty. I just said Salty Chewy.
Oh, I'm definitely salty.
You're just salty about food.deck.
I'm salty about food.deck, and I'm
All right.
building a ripoff.
Let's go check in with Samantha.
Yeah, go see what's in.
All right. Why did you get me in this? What the heck?
Just hand it to Brian.
Is it still going? Is this still going? All right, this is still going. So Samantha, do you want to talk to our listeners real quick?
Sure.
How did it go? Did you win or did you lose?
I was close to.
You need to speak up a little bit, okay?
We were both down hit points 4, but in the end he got me down to 0 by attacking me with 8 damage.
That would-
and I had 4.
That would do it. So he beat you 2 games to none. Is that right?
Yeah,
Or
2 games to none.
Do you feel good about your deck?
Yes.
Good. Do you feel like you're learning how to play it pretty well?
Yes.
May I ask, in the game where you chose to play the Murderous Rider instead of using his adventure to kill one of his creatures,
Yeah.
why did you make that decision?
I decided that I liked how it had like vigilance and all the other special abilities, and I decided I just wanted to do
It does.
that.
It has lifelink, but you
Vigilance,
understand.
like-
You understand when you cast it for the adventure, you can then, if you still have the mana, you can also cast it for the creature. So you could have destroyed something and then played the knight. Or do you know that now? Maybe next time.
Maybe next
It does.
time.
It does cost you 2 life when you do it that way. But what's more important, 2 life or destroying his biggest guy?
Probably destroying his biggest guy.
From what I saw, you were playing very well. Good job. All right.
It took me many years to learn that lesson.
Remember what we talked about, that your life total isn't as important until it's the very end as dealing with some of their most important threats, right? But your opponent was a nice guy.
I had to.
Your opponent was a nice guy, right?
Yeah.
Was it fun to play?
Yes.
That's the most important thing, isn't it, Mike?
It is.
All right, great.
All right. Mike and Brian are here after round 2. I was almost going to like jokingly say I have nothing to report because my games were kind of non-games.
Did the non-games break in your favor or not?
No, out of my favor.
Okay.
Yeah, I was horrendously mana flooded in game 1, and horrendously mana thin in mana dry in game 2. And game 1, it didn't help that I couldn't keep anything on the board because my opponent happened to have a golden goose and a bognod. So for 5 mana, kill that.
wow.
5 mana, kill that. 5 mana, kill that. You know.
Crazy.
And I don't have. I think I only have maybe just 2 or 3 creatures in the entire deck with 4 or more toughness. So yeah, they don't last long against -3, -3.
And if they can time it right, even if it's a bigger creature, they can still just do it during combat.
Yeah, just block into, and they did that one time. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, my opponent was Stephanie. Stephanie's very nice. They were good games
But
for Stephanie. But for me, I could have just been, sitting there reading a book, and I would have gotten the same effect, probably better. But all right, how'd you do, Brian?
I did very well. I was playing against a gentleman, and he was running red-green, and he got off to kind of an aggressive start, but I had a decent amount of removal in my opening hand, and the troll, the bridge troll in both games, just insane. Game 1, I'm running out there, and he's like, oh, that's interesting, and eventually it kills him because that's what it does. Honestly, don't remember. I don't remember a whole lot about it. I'm reaching for my score pad. Yeah, he got me down to 9. He got a couple swings in there, but honestly, nothing I couldn't handle. It was interesting. Turn 1, he played the puppet that's a 0/2. You can sacrifice it, or no, you can exile it to get a 1/1 human.
Yeah.
And it scries 1. Turn 2, he's like, attack for 0, and I'm like, okay, I don't have anything on the board. He's like, haha, and he played the adventure dwarf that gives it like +2/+0, and I'm like, oh, okay, so it's gonna be one of those games, sure. But like the troll, just the troll. My life total goes 18, 16, 12, 15, because that's the 3 from him sacking a goat, to 11 to 14, and at that point he can't keep up with it, and he concedes. Game 2 is a much more drawn-out affair. He hits the ground hard and fast, and my life total goes 19, 22, because I played a turn 5 troll.
Wow.
But the problem is I didn't really have much else in the way of creatures. On turn 3, I played the artifact creature with adamant.
Yeah.
So I've got a 3/3. I had a turn 2 noble that you can pay 2 and sack another creature, which I have yet to do. It's basically there to be a guy,
Right.
and the 3/3. He's able to play an early mana guy, the 3-drop that you can tap for a mana of any color.
Yeah.
It has the adventure of make it one, and he plays the green paladin, which is a 4/4, comes in with +1/+1 counter if it's adamant, which he was, and can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. And then he drops his second one. So I'm like, but I've got the troll, so I'm gaining life every turn. So my life total goes 19, 22, 10. Because he also pumped up one of his guys a lot. And he had a red knight, an ogre knight, that when it attacks another knight you control gains menace.
Oh, that's cool.
So
I forgot about that one.
I put one of my Wicked Stepmothers on that because it's a 3/4. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to trade that right now. But so I go 22, 10, 13, 8, 11, 6, 9, 4, 7, and that's where I ended the game when he ran out of stuff. I was able to blow up a couple last guys with some removal, and I eventually got out my black knight with adamant that has menace, and I was just able to. He goes 20, 18, 2, and I could have let him untap the last turn and see, but after combat, when he said he was going to 2, I looked at the fruit card. There's a black card. Target player loses 2 life and draws 2 cards. And I'm like, let's just end this right now.
Yeah, that's good.
Because the fact was his deck was scary. So I was like, let's just not even. Let's just not even. He didn't have any food or anything out. Let's just not.
Yeah.
So, but the troll is insane. I got out of Sir Conrad in the first game. I didn't even get a Sir Conrad or Arthin or whatever her name is in the second game. The troll. The troll did all the work. There you go. So 2-0.
Does it seem like people have just a lot of removal? Like a lot?
Well, because it's sealed, you have to remember that I'm seeing a lot of black. Are you seeing a lot of black?
Yeah. I mean, I'm playing black. You're playing mono black.
I'm playing mono black, but I feel like, and I'm a bit biased in this, but I feel like black may be one of the best colors.
My
in the
last
set.
2 opponents were playing black.
Sam's playing black.
Yeah.
It's sealed, and sealed, you're going to play your stuff and your removal. You're not going to have a whole lot of tricksy stuff.
Because I've been kind of disappointed by outflank because I can't keep creatures on the board.
I looked at outflank.
So it's only good for like 1 or 2.
I looked at outflank when I was thinking about doing black-white, And immediately I was like, I feel like this is going to be such a feel bad. It's not going to be good when you need it to be good.
Yeah.
It's going to be great when you don't need it to be great.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that I need to go back and switch that out before the next round starts because it's just not done anything for me. Yeah, you're right. The only time it was ever good, I was already winning, and who cares?
Yeah.
So I'm going to find something else to go there.
There you go.
Yeah, Chewie just started his second game a little while ago. He
Okay.
got into a food grind.
That happens.
He switched his deck.
Grinding on cupcakes. I'm telling you.
And he got horribly mana flooded.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah, so we'll move back to him in a minute.
Okay, so I rebuilt the black-white deck into a black-green food deck, but I got out-fooded by Christian here. Christian's food was more delicious than mine. I have a second tempting wish that I never found in the first game. I was going to start throwing food at your head. He got me in the first game down to where I had to just eat food every turn to live. Until I ran out of creatures to turn into food, and then I just died. And then in the second game... Oh, in the first game I drew... Was it 11 land, I want to say? Something. There's just... I cast the Beanstalk Giants adventure twice, and I still kept drawing land. I think after I cast the adventure the second time, I drew like 3 land in a row.
Give or take, yes.
Yeah, it was awful. So... I still don't know if my deck is any good or not because I got horribly flooded. But at least the second game, I was doing things. It's just you were doing better things, and I didn't start doing things until 4.
Yeah, I don't really think it. I feel like you have a strong deck. It's just the fact that you're just getting land flooded. Honestly,
you know the 4/4 for 4 that makes food?
yeah.
I have 3 of those.
Okay.
Never saw one.
Jeez. Okay. Honestly, maybe consider dropping down one more land.
Possibly?
You're running 16?
17.
17. Yeah, maybe just try dropping down one more land.
It's probably a good idea.
I will say, there's one card that I really think could potentially be really good in this format, and maybe it's just... I haven't actually seen it in play yet, but there's a card called Malevolent Noble. 2, sacrifice an artifact or another creature. Yeah, I think if you have in your situation, with the amount of food that you're able to generate, you could really easily turn this into a 5/5 for a little bit.
I've only ever drawn it. Well, I drew it in the first iteration of the deck. That was black-white when I was already losing.
Right.
But yeah, I think if I could get that out early and start making food and feeding it to him, yeah, I think he'll actually swing the game. But
that being said, Foreboding Fruit is a very good card. Really like it. I think that's probably one of the better cards out of this.
What's that Orzhov Knight you have? I forgot what it was called.
Oh, you mean Wintermoor Commander, or do you
the hybrid one.
The hybrid, Resolute Rider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you've got really good. It gains you something like 16 life or more that first game.
Oh yeah, that was the only reason I was able to stay in that game. Plus the fact that I don't have 1 but 2 bake into a pies.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
I've got 1 pie and 2
for the damage.
Epic Downfall.
Oh, nice.
But couldn't find those either because I was busy finding all the land.
That being said,
this is your fault, Mike.
It is. I encourage you.
That being said, just being able to shove people into a tower twice.
Yeah, he's got 2 trapped in a tower.
Did he just call time?
I think
have no idea what he said.
Let me go check.
Did he just call time? Is that what that was? Oh, yeah, okay.
But it's been a very good game.
Yeah,
good luck to you.
Sir. So, I still don't know if the deck is any good or not. I think if I could draw any of the cards that do anything, it would be better, but I'm not finding that. And when I do, he just locks it down with it trapped in the tower. Yeah, I kept a bad opening hand that first game, and my first play was a Lockthwing Paladin that was adamant, and he immediately put it in a tower, and I went, oh. Well, okay then. So how'd Brian do?
Brian did well.
Nice. So You're 1-1, he's 2-0, and I'm 0-2. Seems good. Yeah.
I was talking to him. I think I'm gonna take out Outflank. I just can't keep creatures on the board with the removal that people are playing, and it's just not a good card. So I'm gonna
That
find
makes
something
sense.
else.
Yeah. If you're.
I don't know if I want to just replace it with more creatures or find some other spells that I forgot about. We'll see.
I guess Mike and I will take a look at his deck more in a bit. All right, round whatever is over. I am
Round N.
round N, where N equals however many losses I have. Yeah, this isn't working at all, Mike.
Damn.
I took out a land after I played against Wade in round 3, yeah.
Yeah.
And I took out a land, dropped down to 16, and still drew 8. Naturally, there were no adventures with giants. It's just draw 8 lands. And I'm like, okay, I don't have things to do things, and he's got a handful of creatures and things, and I'm like, I've got 3 lands. I played the 4/4 wolf, and he goes, I got a 4/4 wolf. And I'm like, well, screw you. And then I played a second one, and he had a third one, and I'm like, yeah. So yeah, it's not good, Mike. I can't not draw land.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't not draw all the land.
It's pretty aggravating.
Yeah, how you doing?
That one went a lot better. I replaced the 2 outflanks with 1 red caps, whatever. It's 1
Melee?
red,
Red cap melee?
deal 4 damage to something, and if it's not a red something,
Yeah.
well, a creature, planeswalker, and if it's not a red something, then you sack a land. And the improved incinerate, whatever it's called. Scorching Dragonfire, is that what it's called?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. And I added a couple more mountains, and it was awesome because those cards showed up in the games that we played. So that was really encouraging.
Oh, good.
Yeah, my opponent, I didn't catch his name, I feel bad. My opponent was playing blue, black, and his was pretty slow and controlling. It had some good stuff in there. But that discard spell where you get to pick something out of their hand and make an adventure go away, that was awesome. I drew it in both games. I got 2 cards in the first game, 1 card in the second game, but it was worth it because the 1 card I got the second time was baked into a pie.
Nice. Both times I've cast Memory Theft.
Yeah, Memory Theft.
Both times I've cast that spell, my opponent has shown me a handful of adventure creatures. I'm like I could be getting double duty if you'd used one of those. Hint, hint.
Most of the times I've cast it, like I end up having to pick the only non-land card they have, so I'm like, okay, whatever. But yeah, my knights ran up on people, and Fairy Guide Mother is awesome because she gives
Fairy Guide
people
Mother's insane.
plus
yeah.
2 power and flying,
That's
and
what I
then
picked out of
she
his
also
hand.
flies.
That's what I picked out of his hand when I cast the Memory Theft. He showed me the one that +2/+2 in untap adventure, and the Fairy Guide Mother. I'm like, yeah, get rid of her.
Yeah. And in both of the games we played, he found his bridge troll, and the first time at the very end of game 1, he was just at 3 life, and I had 3 power in the air, and I think he was just checking to see if I was paying attention because he played the troll. He said, "Combat, you want to sacrifice anything?" I said, "No," and he said, "Okay, I concede." And in game 2, it wasn't the same situation, but he's like, "Play the troll. You want to sacrifice anything?" And I looked at our life totals, and I'm like, no. So he attacks me down to 5, but he's still at kind of low as well. And I was able to attack him for enough damage that could finish him off with the Curry Favor adventure on the Smitten Knight.
Nice.
So yeah, that round went very well.
Sweet.
Yeah. I'm very glad I wasn't holding on to outflank in either of those games. 'Cause that would have been highly disappointing.
I was gonna drop, and he goes, "You might get the buy. Then you get a free pack." I went, "Oh, is it do pack per win here?" He goes, "Yeah." I went, "I guess I'll play round 4 then." I gotta hang out to do the podcast thing anyway. So
Yeah, might as well.
I might as well. Yeah. So sorry to disappoint Jay Spencer and Ojan, who were kind enough to donate to my go to the pre-release fund when I said, "Okay, I went to the grocery store. That means I can't pre-release. Sorry, y'all." And I was cool with it. I'm like, I don't care. And then they're like, "No, you're going." and they provided me with fundage, and I'm like, oh well, thank you. I guess I'll go. Now I kind of wish I just pocketed the money and stayed at home. Okay, not really, but I would have sent it back to him. I think they really just wanted to hear Sam talk about fairy tale cards. So
Probably.
has she been? Because I haven't been around for any of them because I keep losing slowly.
I think Brian just handed over to her one time of the times that I went over there, because it was just the one time that I went over there that she was actually finished. She was still playing in round 1. She was finished in round 2. And this is just the end of round 3. We haven't even talked to them
they're both
yet.
still playing.
They're both still in the middle of something. I can't tell whether she's playing at a good pace. It's questionable, but...
I mean, probably not. Let's be real. Oh well. I guess that's it for us for now.
Yeah.
I lost. So how'd you do?
I won the most intense round of the day because he had a troll as well. He was on green black. He had a troll. He also had a beanstalk giant, and he had a Garrick.
Seems like everyone has a Clackbridge troll that's playing black, but me.
If you have the troll, you go black. I don't know what to say. So I literally, game 1 was such a slog. At one point, I did Forever Young and put back on top of my library the Black Lord, the triple black girl that whenever you get a black creature, you drain a life out of them.
Oh yeah.
I got her, the Oathsworn Knight, a Clackbridge Troll, and a Sir Conrad back on top of my library. I still ended up conceding that game because it would have taken too long. I wanted to go to games 2 and 3. Game 2, I got to my troll first, and game 3, I got to my troll first. Not to mention, even though game 2 he couldn't stop it, game 3 he's like, bake it into a pie. I had boarded in. I already have a Forever Young in my deck. I boarded in a second one after that because the games I was afraid they'd go long. So game 3, he pies it. I'm like, okay, I get to turn 7, or I got to 7 mana. And it's the only creature in my graveyard, but I'm like, go big or go home. So I'm like, Forever Young, to get the troll back, throw it onto the board, keep swinging. Yeah. And I got there. By the end of it, I had the troll, I had Sir Conrad out for a while, and he eventually dealt with it, and I had out the noble, among other things, and he just was like, he couldn't throw anything under it anymore. He didn't have a Garrick, and he's like, yeah, we're done. So he did not seem bitter about it. That was the best played round. He compared game 1 to a chess match, which is really what it was. So Samantha was playing against a very nice gentleman. They were shuffling up for game 3 when time was called, so they did draw. Yeah. So we got one more round to go. I'm 3-0. I'm feeling good.
I haven't won a game all day.
You're a wall, man. You're an 0-3 wall. Yeah. That's good.
Like, my deck is crap. I was gonna just drop, but I realized they do pack a win, so I might as well
give it one more shot.
Maybe I'll get a buy.
Give it one more shot. Yeah. They're playing Dungeons. Sam is fascinated because they're playing Dungeons and Dragons over there.
Yeah, they've been over there since we got started.
I know you do. She's played one time and she loves it. But
well, that's how they get you.
That is how they get you.
So hey Sam, how are you liking all the fairy tale cards?
I love them. What's this?
Her opponent, Carl, said in game 2 she won fair and square. I didn't even see that game. I was so involved with my own. He said she was destroying creatures and rolling in, which is how green black rolls.
Nice.
So good job. I'm shuffling up our decks. Got one round to go. She wants to go talk to Mike because bye.
Later, man.
Because that'll certainly stop her from getting involved in D&D is talking to Mike. One more round to go.
All right. Well, one more round then.
Yep.
All right. Round 4 is over, and it worked. I got the bye.
So did I, because my partner went home.
Yeah, and Sam's opponent left. So Sam and I got free wins, so we played against each other.
And I won against Chewie.
In my defense, I kept to one lander because I had all cheap things. I had the Witching Well, the Inquisitive Puppet, and both Ginger Brutes, and I went, Yeah.
I mean, like, it's not like...
And I got her down to like 14
Okay.
with 2 lands total for a long time, so I'm okay with losing that game.
Hey, Chewie.
Hey.
Why do you have so many lanes on this pile?
Oh, those are the lands that were in my deck. I'm gonna go put them back.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
So here, you guys talk about how you did, because I lost.
All right. I played against. I didn't catch his name either. I played against what's his name?
The guy.
He,
His name, yeah.
I love what's his name.
The guy.
Greg. I think his name was Greg. Yeah.
Greg?
Yeah. He
Greg, did you
played
play?
Samantha earlier today. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Some over here.
Yeah, I played
So
Greg.
Okay.
he was playing blue black, and he had
Yeah.
flyers and control and blah blah blah, this that and the other
Yeah,
thing.
it was a bunch.
Let
And-
Mike tell the story.
Game 1, I was doing really well, but he was able to turn it around and come back and get me. And then I can't remember anything specific that happened in Game 1. But anyway, I know that I was doing really well, and then eventually he turned the corner. But then in Game 2, he like I kept a hand that was decent, It gave me stuff to play. It gave me stuff to wait for, to draw more lands and whatever. So on his first turn, he plays that 1-drop 1/2 where you mill your opponent for 2 and you scry 2. So he, off the top of my deck, come a mountain and a plains. I'm like, oh well, I got lands in my hand. I don't have any plains in my hand, but there are plenty more plains in the deck, so whatever. So as the game continues to go on, I start to accumulate more white cards in my hand, and I don't draw any more plains. Later in the game, I go to cast a spell, and he casts, didn't say please, mills me for 3, and off the top of the deck come a plains, a something else, and a something else, and I'm like, oh! And yeah, I ended the game with like 4 white cards that I couldn't cast because the RNG got me.
So, for everyone,
What?
RNG didn't get you. This is a physical game. Variance got you.
Okay, physics got me.
Okay,
So-
that's who.
Quantum physics got me.
There we go.
That's real life RNG, right? Quantum physics.
It is, actually.
Yeah, okay.
so when we were building decks, and I decided to keep the giant out, and I was like, am I really going mono black? I was like, let's give it a shot. 4-0, baby. 4-0. Yeah, played against another undefeated person. He was, I think, 2-0-1. And he was on black and green. So much black today, right? And
It's all the best color, no problem.
game one, he was a bit behind on mana, and I didn't have a whole lot of early action. So turn 3, I played the discard spell where you look at their hand, and I took his mana elf, and he was like, oh, because he had like the 4 green mana troll, that were 4 green and 2 generic. He never got there.
It has 4 green symbols
It has
in the
4
cards?
green manas.
Oh my
He
God.
apparently had one of those and a foil version. But so what I did make a mistake in game 1. I got out my noble, the 3 black lady, and threw a giant skillet. No, not skillet. A giant's spear. What is it? The giant's thing that's got the pig on
spit?
it.
Skewer.
Skewer. Spit. And I put
call
on
it
her.
a skillet.
She was a 4/4, and I attacked. He had 2 of the. Now I don't know if you guys saw this. It was a green 1-drop that whenever it attacks, if you control a non-human creature, gets +1/+1. It
Yeah,
also
that's
says
good.
and blocks, which I didn't
does say
realize.
and
So I attacked my 4/4. He's like, they trade, and I'm like, no, they don't. He's like, yeah, they do, and I'm like, okay. Now I was able to rally and win that one, mostly just attacking over and over again.
Yeah.
Did not see the troll this whole round. So hey, if you thought my deck was dependent on the troll, it wasn't. Game 2, I got off to a slow start. He ran me over. He had a turn 2 3/1. The night you can sack a food to make it to something blocked, didn't matter. Turn 3, he went on the adventure to make a 1/1 guy for his Lovesworn Beast, and then after that was able to play the Lovesworn Beast and was bashing in for a lot.
Yeah.
And I was able to kill one thing, Oh, he had the green legend. When it attacks, something else gets +X+X. And I was able to be like, destroy that, and that was it. And then game 3, I got off to a quick start, and I just didn't let off the gas. I kept a 2-land hand with like a 2-drop, and then a bunch of 3-drops, and I had the banner that you can tap for a mana of that color, and I was able to play the Oathsworn Knight on turn 3 when I top decked a land, and I was like, yes!
It's hands like that usually leave me waiting until turn 6 for the 3rd land.
I was able to get in there. I was able to start attacking. He hadn't seen it before. He used a kill spell on it. And later in the game, a couple turns later, I was able to use Forever Young, which for a common did so. I mean, we see this effect in every set, right? It did so much work.
Yeah. Usually, like over the years, it's usually been an instant that costs 3. But instant is like whatever. Who cares about the instants?
No,
costing 2 makes it amazing.
So I got back Oathsworn Knight, and on top of my deck, I put 2 of the abusive stepmothers. Played the Oathsworn Knight, and untapped and played both abusive stepmothers. One dealing 2 damage. 2. By the way, I had out a Sir Conrad. So we're doing this trading, and he's just losing all this life. And because my stepmothers are 5/2s with the banner out.
Yeah.
And I just dealt 2 to Sir Conrad and 2 to the artifact creature with adamant. And he's just looking at this board, and I can tell. He thought on my turn 3 I played that Oathsworn Knight, and he said he top decked the perfect answer. He played the 1/5 spider. And I said, actually, and then I drew my card because I didn't want to be like, hey, I just drew this. I want him to know I had the banner in my hand to make it a 5/4. And he's like, he was, yeah. So it was very well fought. I ended up coming out ahead, but it was very, very well fought. I won this time 4-0, baby. Mono black. Got an extra pack for being undefeated. Life is great.
Oh, cool. You got an extra pack for 4-0?
You got me an extra pack for 4-0.
Nice.
The set's cool. I like it. I had a good pool. I listened to what my pool did. I ignored the Wrath Giant, and I 1,000% believe that was the right move today. So, and I'm going to go turn in these 17 swamps. Actually, I pulled out extra swamps, and I pulled out some plains because when we were building decks, I'm like, I'm gonna be adding these in. Nope. The only time I boarded anything in, I took out the thing that's the monkey's paw, the get what that comes with the witch counters, to put in a second Forever Young against my round 3 opponent because our first game went so long and he had so much removal. I wanted to be able to get everything back.
Yeah.
Because I literally had a game there in game 1, round 3, where I got back 4 things with Forever Young and it wasn't enough. So that was the only thing I took out all day. Feeling good.
Awesome.
I better rub it in now, because next time, when it comes to, what's the next one? Going back into the underground of Theros?
Yeah, something Theros. Yeah.
I'm sure I'll be like back to the, pools. Hey, Sam. Carrie says she's here.
Oh.
She texted me.
Oh, apparently Carrie's here.
But I know she doesn't want to be on the recording.
Hey, Sam, your mom's here. Somewhere. All right, so what do we think?
Awesome set, but I'm biased.
But he's biased.
The power is kind of blobbed over into black a bit.
It seems like it. Yeah, everybody seemed to be playing black.
I mean, again, biased because mono black, but every opponent I played had black. No, I played
plenty of
green-red guy once.
There's plenty of good stuff in other colors for constructed, but limited-wise, just because of all the ridiculously convenient removal that they haven't been putting in sets for the past several years, black is just kind of nuts.
Baked into a pie is awesome. I started to somebody baked my troll into a pie, and I started to make a food. He's like, that's mine. I'm like, oh yeah, because that is awesome. It's a common too, right?
Yes, it's a common.
Yeah.
I mean, before we were getting things that cost 6, and we're like, destroy that, your opponent loses 2 life. And I'm like, okay, great.
Oh yeah! But instead, we get 4 cost instant. Instant.
Yes.
In common.
It's kind of silly.
It says destroy target creature.
Hey,
Sam, come here.
I was about to ask whose food box that was because I've been perpetually about to step on it.
So hey,
We're
ask
going
Sam.
to dinner. I'm offering it to the guys.
Hey Sam, tell the recorder what was your favorite card?
My favorite card was
She knew what it was a second ago.
Chewie, what was your favorite card?
Well, she told me it was the Savvy Hunter.
Savvy Hunter?
Yeah.
Oh, the guy that makes the food tokens like all the time?
Yeah, and then sacks 2 to draw cards. Yeah, he's pretty good.
I got one of those in my pool, but the rest of my green was awful.
Yeah, I would have loved to have one of those in my deck. Would have been sick. Word. Well, did you have fun? Awesome. She's nodding yes, by the way.
You know your dad told you just one.
Yeah, but he wasn't looking.
That's
What was
true.
I not doing?
What?
What?
Looking.
That what?
Nothing.
That is not going to be good.
Oh, that's
It's just like the last of the melted ice.
that hurt me, and I'm standing way over here. All right.
anybody want some?
I do.
So I
A
guess
little salty, so don't eat them too fast.
All right.
this Mike picks up a handful and shoves it directly into his gob. Oh my god. Alright, well, I guess. So black seems good. Just in general.
Yeah.
Brian
I use black.
No more.
Brian went mono black and went 4-0, so Brian's convinced that he's the best player.
No.
I'm
Maybe.
convinced I'm the best.
Sam's convinced she's the best.
And she went black. She went green and black.
Yeah.
Hi.
And yeah, so I guess are we done?
Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah. Is this going to be a recording for this week, or are we going to record on
Protect it
Thursday?
from wind
Is
or
this going
hopping
to take the
noises.
place of last Thursday?
I don't know. I guess we'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about that later.
Okay. Well then, I guess I will turn it over to
Bye-bye.
Sam says bye. I guess I'll turn it over to editing Chewie to throw in all the Patreon stuff. Gee, thanks. I guess I'll take over then. Past Chewie. So yes, the Manapool is a Patreon supported endeavor. In fact, all of Manapool Productions is a Patreon supported endeavor. So I would like to thank all of our lifeguards. That's what we call our patrons. Lifeguards. Get it? Manapool? It's a pool? It's a lifeguard? Anyway. If you go to patreon.com/themanapool and do the thing there, you can be you can get a variety of perks. You can get Manapool episodes and YouTube videos early. You can get the odds and ends, which is all the stuff behind the scenes nonsense recorded before and after both podcasts, Monday Night Magic and the Manapool, that is uncensored and mostly unfiltered. Sometimes things get a little too personal, and so we stop the recording. And then sometimes personal information is just spouted out by someone, and I feel the need to delete it. Brian and Dirk love to talk about their kids and where their kids go and their kids' addresses and social security numbers, and I'm like, what? No, I have to delete all of... Anyway. But you can also become a Mythic Lifeguard, which gets you the early stuff, the odds and ends, and the sponsorship shout-out on both podcasts and on the end screen for all of the YouTube videos in any given month. So, I would like to thank our Mythic Lifeguards: Jason Doan, Kim Ho, Andrew Hunt, Al, Lance Delicious, Team Hellas Haru, Connor Kennedy, John Morris, Alex Gonzalez, Scuzzo, Jeff Spencer, Stuart Slaw, PJ McMullen, Sophia Bertain, Casey, Fayen Says, Danny Liao, Cody Buckowing, Jake Jansons, Jason Kaus, Gothic Man, Stark Maximum, hang on, I scrolled accidentally. John Parker, Violet Moon, Beardy Man, Dan Holm, Bartle, Sarah Jane, and the Beastfather, Aaron Goodwine. So thank you all so very much for your support and for all of the lifeguards at every level. I haven't eaten lunch. That's my problem. I quite literally could not do this without all of your support. So thank you so much for allowing me to keep churning out all of this content for you. By the way, since Past Chewie didn't bother, you can check out youtube.com/themanapool, where there's one YouTube video that goes up every day. What's going up right now? I've got, so I just finished, as a matter of fact, today, the last video for the Shovel Knight Plague of Shadows DLC went up. We play as Plague Knight. The end is very sweet. It was so sweet. Not like, dude, sweet, but like, aw, sweet, like that. And tomorrow, Among the Sleep, which is a spooky game, because, hey, it's October now, so spooky games, where you're an actual, literal baby, you're 2 years old, and you and your walking, talking, and only slightly creepy teddy bear have to navigate a crazy nightmare dimension thing where there are giant things that are trying to get you. And it's very atmospheric, and you're a baby. So, it's pretty cool. This is really creepy. And minor spoilers, the story, it turns out, you don't find out till the end, but it's kind of a bummer. So, damn. Just damn. But anyway. Oh, and some more Hearthstone games will be going up alongside that. So, yay, Hearthstone. So with that, I will be done with this episode. Actually, I think I said at the beginning this was episode 669. I was wrong. That's Monday Night Magic. This is episode 569 of the Mana Pool. Thank you all so very much for joining us, and I hope you did better at the pre-release than I freaking did.